here we go. Okay, so we want to be able to plug in the pentatonic scale for the right key. So in contemporary music, it's almost always the first chord. So if we played T and T, and I said do a solo, we have this first chord, which is an E power chord. So it tells us E. So I showed you the one on the double dots, which is E. E right there. Okay, but then I showed you a lick, and it goes like this. I think you'll remember it, but... Okay, so we can add that to whatever you were doing. In other words, we have this. Bend and a... And then I was saying that we use the scale to just fill up space in between the little vocabulary licks that we learn. And you're also going to be able to do this in the blues that we learned. The blues in E is going to be that same scale too. So that's always good to practice. Okay. So then the next thing was the line, the bass line from Hey Joe. And I talked about the term chromatic, which just means at least 3 half steps in a row. Now the chromatic scale is it's just every note. Okay, so here's the line. Ring finger on the C note. Then a big jump. One more time. You do that right there too. Okay. And then the last thing that we wanted to do was the 12-bar blues and how to play it. And we're gonna expand on this. We're gonna expand it out. But basically, what we did today was we played E7, which would take an E chord, take my ring finger off. We did that for one measure, and then A7. For a measure, and now we do the same thing but 2 measures each. Back to E7 for 2 more measures. Okay, then we go to B7. We have our middle finger there, 2nd fret on the A string, 1st finger, 1st fret on the next string, ring finger right there, and then pinky on the high E string. And we play that for one measure. A7 for a measure. And then this is the turnaround I taught you. It starts on the E power chord. You're only going to play these 2 strings. B7, okay? And then to expand on that, instead of an E7 chord, or with the E7 chord, or in place of it, there's just like a little, you know, the da 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 of the blues, and that goes like this. if you noticed, it's got some little spots where it's a rest. And I'm muting it with my right palm, like, as opposed to, which you can do it that way for now, but I just wanted to point that out. Okay, now I'm going to play the 12-bar blues using this. So the A chord, we just scoot it back a string. So here's the 12-bar blues with this little riff. Starts over. To end it, and all I did, the only thing I did in there that I didn't teach you was I was just taking away the chord sometimes and just playing that pentatonic scale. But I was playing it in some other spots that I haven't showed you yet. But it was just all the E minor pentatonic scale, like. So that's just the octave lower of this one. But I'm using the open strings. So if you had to imagine that it took a finger to create it, to make it one of the open string notes, you'd see that it actually looks the same. But since we don't need to do that for anything, we can just use the open strings and change what fingers I'm using. Ring finger on these two, middle finger on these, and then ring finger on that, and then you have the same scale. By the way, this is all bonus. This isn't something that we went over, so I'm just showing it to you. Just to explain, because if it's in this spot and you're playing the, it's in the same spot. And so forth and so on forever.